this field. She also works with a 412 Food Rescue, a nonprofit organization which is looking to eliminate hunger while reducing food waste.
I was really talking about whiskey, and so since then, my curiosity has taken me to wine trade. And what I mean by wine trade is really just the buying and selling itself, the good stuff, the wine inside, and then completing, sort of coming full circle to looking at complex branding and organization. Wine was being transported as sediment concave. The sediment will allow it to, with filtration now, and sort of at the mercy of wine merchants. These wine merchants would buy barrels in bulk, particularly in England, and they would fill up. My personal opinion is that thanks to the modern invention of the thickness of glass in the 18th century, it gives us champagne. So champagne, yes, who doesn't like bubble bottles, and allow us to have that beautiful wine that we are able to, sparkling wine that we're able to enjoy today. And a lot of that is attributed to their talk. But if you have questions about that, come see me after. And that is sort of standard across the board. But most importantly, it's really expensive. The glass is heavy, so that increases transportation costs. And so what we're seeing now is a moving into having higher quality wine in that format. You're also seeing wine producers. We were just in the Loire Valley this past February, and we were seeing small wine, 3 elements. We have our bottle. Now I want to spend a little bit more time. There weren't trees in the field. They were using some sort of stakes. And then we also see monks really sort of we see major wine growing regions of the world. We're going to look at them because we can really grow wine really all over the world. And what the vine needs, vines, and that it takes a lot of energy to the vine. It takes a lot of energy to produce all those green parts. But for our purposes, we wanted all that energy, sort of spending more money on food and drink. So wine consumption is up, it's skyrocketing. But sharing of knowledge happening. And so sharing of vines, because so yes, we saved wine. Is a crossing of American rootstocks. Actually, it allows us to invent mechanized, modern mechanization for mechanical to sort of extend their inventory. And we're also seeing wines coming from Algeria. And this then allows us to usher in the next several decades of classification systems, particularly what we're probably because of him and his employment from the French government. He's a French scientist. He helps in wine and give us this sort of led to believe that old world is best, right? Old world wine is as well for expanding your palate. And so we have, so that all comes back to then how do we find how we make decisions? And they found that it was the design of the label in the United States. If it's at least 75% Cabernet Sauvignon, you have to say it's Cabernet Sauvignon. But I like to say a pro tip: if you want to spend a lot of money, don't look at the price tag. Really look at the specifics. The more specific a wine is on its label, all these regions, and that's confusing because we live in the United States. We are very fussy, or they can be very fussy. So managing that is not cheap. Pest control add up to the cost into your bottle, and then tins are those like grippy things. If you ever drink a wine, all of a sudden, especially with Cabernet Sauvignon. And if you've ever been to just like at a fire hall and they've had Cabernet Sauvignon, that's probably what I'm talking about here. Because after Prohibition, we were given the 3-tiered system. And that markup, so it's not only expensive to produce that bottle of wine, but 4%. And so all of those things go into all of these costs. And it's really hard for a lot of smaller producers. Having a wine go into market, that's a huge jump, right? And so that big jump is not necessarily, so it's not going to waste. Lesser known grapes, these are value regions or value grapes that are going to be a lot cheaper, familiar, but also break you out of that comfort zone. And again, I always like to end with several tips. Is again going back to that slide before. On the back of every bottle, it's by law in the United States. And when you do that, you're going to be able to. Wine memberships are great. If you like a certain producer, by all means, please do that. Quick little thing of just when you're looking at price points. And you're running into the TriStar and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start and I don't know what to get. That wine, you might get a slightly higher quality with all of those grapes and production. A handful of books that I particularly love. Wine Pair and Wine Follower are two awesome online resources. A lot of those wines go really well with seafood. Now that the world doesn't know Virginia wine as well as I think many do, or thanks to actually particularly to New Zealand. New Zealand was the first real major league. Especially with corks, you want to be able to have some moisture, some of that wine hitting the cork. It's actually really funny. In my father's building, in my parents' building, when you're buying by the case, most cases that you're going to get, especially if they're European cases, the bottles are already laying flat. It will devastate our business. It will devastate you. We may not see it immediately, but yeah.
What about South American and New Zealand and Australian wine?
Yeah.
I inquired about it, and she said, well, it's a anyway, she said that because of the potential for cheese tariffs, she's
Fruitiness helps balance that fruitiness, and so when someone says, or if you're decanting a bottle of wine.